there, Jonathan here, and welcome to Learn to Playthrough, and welcome to my workstation. Today we're going to be starting the painting process of the ancient spiders and the snow terrors with some priming. And here are the ancient spiders. And the snow terrors. So the first thing we need to do before we prime the ancient spiders and the snow terrors is to give them a bath. And this is going to rid them of any substances that might stop the primer from adhering. But before we give the ancient spiders and the snow terrors a bath, or should I say before I give the snow terrors a bath, since the ancient spiders don't have any gaps due to them being a one-part miniature, is if there are any gaps that need filling, now would be the time so that any dirt and grime used while filling the gaps can be cleaned afterwards. So let's go ahead and take a look at these gaps on the snow terrors. On the right side of the snow terrors, we have quite a few gaps around the neck, the right arm, the right leg, and the right ankle, and also not seen is the right wrist. And then on the left side, we have gaps around the neck and the shoulder, and also not seen is the left ankle. For filling gaps, there are 3 items that I use. First one is the green stuff, and it is a blue part and a yellow part, and when you mix them together it turns green, so hence the name green stuff. And I use the green stuff for filling of large gaps. And then for the smaller gaps, I'm going to use this Gorilla Super Glue Gel. And also this 100% acrylic resin matte varnish. So let's go ahead and take a look at these gaps after they've been filled. On the right side, as you can see, it still looks like gaps since I use super glue and matte varnish on these gaps, and those 2 items will dry clear. But overall, it is looking really good. And then on the left side, I used a little bit of green stuff around the neck as a filler, and then used some super glue over it to smooth it out. And then used super glue on the other gaps. So now that the gaps are filled, let's go ahead and get the miniatures cleaned. I have 2 cups here. One contains warm soapy water, and then the other one contains some clean warm water to go ahead and rinse them off. And then to clean them, I'm going to be using this soft bristle toothbrush. So let's go ahead and start with our ancient spiders, and we'll go ahead and give them their Saturday night bath. La 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 la. And definitely be careful about their legs here because they could bend or snap off. And our snow terrors. Now they are kind of big and seem kind of sturdy, but still, just overall, be very careful. Alright, so let's go ahead and dry them off. Tears are looking pretty good. And definitely be careful of the ancient spider while drying them off. You don't want to catch their legs and break them off, or bend them at least. And then once we're all done washing and drying them, I'll go ahead and take the ancient spiders and the snow terrors outside to get their priming done. So when we're ready for priming, I have a dowel here with some poster tack on the end to keep whatever we're painting a little bit farther from my hand here so that I don't spray paint any kind of primer on my hand. And for the primer, I'm only going to be using the white primer here from the Army Painter. And the reason for this, there's two reasons, is that both the Ancient Spiders and the Snow Terrors are going to be painted white, or at least near white. So why not match the primer to the base coat the best you can? And then number two is, since the Ancient Spiders and the Snow Terrors are in the Targa Plateau, which is covered with snow, the light that shines down to produce that highlighting on top of the miniatures would also bounce off of the snow underneath the Ancient Spiders and the Snow Terrors, striking their underside, so there wouldn't be any shadows underneath the miniatures, or at least a very minimal amount to not worry about spraying black primer underneath. Okay, and we're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up the washing and drying of the Ancient Spiders and the Snow Terrors, and then I'll meet you outside to get the Ancient Spiders and the Snow Terrors spray painted up with some primer. Hello there, Jonathan here, and we're at the side of the house where I do all my spray painting at, and it's a nice cool October evening. So let's go ahead and get the Ancient Spiders and the Snow Terrors all spray painted up with some primer. And here's our first enemies, the Ancient Spiders. And we're going to do a mass production spray painting of them. As I said, I'm only going to be spraying the Ancient Spiders and the Snow Terrors with the white primer. And here's the white primer we're going to use from the Army Painter. Well, let's just go ahead and spray it straight down onto the Ancient Spiders. You can see they were red, so we can see how much red is going to be showing after we complete the priming. Alright, so let's go ahead and flip them over and do the underside. So if you do have a lot of miniatures, definitely do a mass production so it can save you some time. So let's go and do the underside here. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at those Ancient Spiders. Whew, got some good traffic out tonight. Alright, they are looking pretty good, probably about 98%. So that should do it pretty good there. Alright, let's go ahead and get our Snow Terror up here. And here's our Snow Terror. We're going to be spraying with some primer. Doing the same thing, we're only going to be using white for our Snow Terror. Let's start her off here. Wow, that looks kind of good just like that. A little freaky with the red showing. Right, let's go and get underneath. You gotta watch out for areas like that right hand, how it's underneath there. You might not catch it with your primer. Alright, well that is looking good. Okay, so that's going to do it for the Ancient Spiders and the Snow Terrors. So let's go ahead and get back to the workstation. I'm going to go ahead and finish up the other two Snow Terrors here, and then we'll go from there. Hello there, Jonathan here, and welcome back to my workstation. We got the Ancient Spiders and the Snow Terrors all primed up with just white, since I figured that the snow is too blinding that there wouldn't be any shadows. And here are the ancient spiders, and the snow terrors. So all three of the fillers that I have were used: the green stuff, the Gorilla Superglue Gel, and the 100% acrylic resin matte varnish. And all three of them worked out pretty good. Now for the ancient spiders and the snow terrors, there really isn't a lot of pictures out there other than their pictures on the Targa Plateau's Otherworld threat card. So definitely going to have to look around. Well, that should do it for now. So let's go ahead and get our enemies back down to the gaming table for some more action, and then get them back up here to continue on with the painting process.